jump the divide. And earlier I talked to you about how you should establish relationships with your clients and customers. And one of the important things was to try and focus on building relationships with prospects and building a business based on more on relationships than a customer who is focused on product, features, and price. And part of the premise was that if you actually have a customer who is much more focused on product, features, and price, your price would ultimately be lower. You would be a business that might be one of those big box retailers who could compete on those terms. But really, when you're a small business, you need to actually, if you have focusing on getting customers who have a relationship or who are more interested in the relationship with your business, then price is far more elastic, and therefore your margin can be higher, and therefore you can make more profit. So as part of my last presentation, I sort of suggested that you might like to start a relationship with your prospects prior to them becoming clients. And this is sort of a little bit contrary to what most businesses do, which is they sell to a customer, and then that customer ends up in their database or in their list, and then they start to communicate with them and actually form a relationship with them. But using technology, you can actually form relationships with clients before they, or with prospects, before they ever become your clients. And I mentioned that I would show you the system that I use, and one of the systems that I use. Now, we use different types of things to manage both mailing and handling our tasks within our business. So yes, we do use autoresponders, and one of the autoresponders I use is GetResponse, although there are many to choose from. You can use MailChimp if you just want a free autoresponder, or you can actually pay for their services. But I suggest that you consider what you're going to do with your list and how you're actually going to contact people. So if you want to contact people on a regular basis, and you just need to mail them, and you don't actually want to measure their actions and things like that, then a simple autoresponder may be enough. But you may want to take that to a greater level and use some of the systems that are out there that integrate some of the auto-response, and also possibly provide things like membership areas or shopping carts or other things that might be beneficial to your business. Even some of the systems you can run websites within, you can actually use your CNAME functionality of your domain to point at a particular system so that it looks like it's your website, and you can run from inside some of these managed systems. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to have a quick look through some of the things that we do, and then we're also going to have a little look at I'll take you in live into one of my accounts, and I'll show you why I use one particular system for one task. So first up, what we're going to do is we'll have a look at some of the, I'll just pop my little slideshow on and we'll have a little talk about it. So just bear with me for 1 sec while I just hop over here. And so what we're going to do, yeah, we're going to just share my little PowerPoint, so bear with me a sec, we'll get this one going. So what I'm going to do, we're going to run through. Sorry, I was just sharing. What I wanted to share was my desktop here, and then I'm going to actually start my little slideshow so we can have a bit of a chat. So let's have a look at how CRM or possibly just an autoresponder could help your business. Now, one of the systems that we use that we've tried is something that's called Monster Follow-up, or is now known as Instant Customer. Now, Instant Customer has is basically an autoresponder type system, but it enables also you to use SMS communications, and you can have different broadcasts and things on the inside of it. So I'm just going to hop into the next slide. Inside Instant Customer, basically we have things like you create a campaign, and you can see here I've got one of my phone board business campaigns set up in there just as a test to see how we can run and construct things from the inside. And this enables you to communicate with your clients, send text messages, email, voicemails, and also to publish video. So if you're interested in a totally integrated system, something like Instant Customer may be worth considering. And if you wanted me to give you a bit of a tour, a personalized tour, then by all means give me a call and we can sit down and I can take you through things. Now, this is an example of the type of report that you would get out, or the type of response that you would get out of something like Instant Customer or another CRM. This one happens to be from Instant Customer. And so in this example, what I actually have is I have a series of communications that have involved both using an SMS autoresponder and an email autoresponder. And so basically I've had someone come and opt into my system via SMS. So they've sent a text message to my autoresponder, and the autoresponder has then asked them for the email address, and consequently we've had a few automatic SMSs going back and forward, and actually I've taken them through and offered them a bonus. So this was an automatic sequence of events, and so now I've captured the client's phone number and their email address and then their company name and their name. And what I've done is I've sent them basically a bonus where they can watch some training like this. So that's one particular system. Another one that I quite like a lot and I use for a number of things in my business is a service called Premium Web Cart. Now, there are a number of things, a number of different pieces of software out there, like Office Autopilot is another great one. Infusionsoft is fantastic. I went with Premium Web Cart because it suited my circumstances at the time, and it depends how big your business is and whether you want to actually pay monthly, or if you have a large budget for this sort of thing, or whether you're just starting out. But this system was going to grow with me, so I decided to go with Premium Web Cart. And this is basically some of the features that they have. So they've got things like you can create a website inside here. You can actually have you can run projects. You've got a members area, so you can have a membership site for people that you might want to be nurturing on an ongoing basis. And then they also have the autoresponder side. So I'm going to take you and have a little look. The autoresponder, or CRM, is the part that we're looking at today. And this is just an example where there are other integrated systems that include a CRM and also include autoresponder type systems. So an autoresponder is something that will send emails to clients, and they've become more sophisticated than just you sort of automatically replying to a client. What the autoresponder does, it can actually track what people do via their click, and so they may open or not open the email, and then the autoresponder may send a different email. So there are sequences that you can set in place using an autoresponder. So inside the Customer Relationship Manager, you can see here that I've actually got a whole database of customers, but what we're looking at is actually the funnels and the sales paths. So I'm running multiple businesses inside this management system, and what I do is I might have a sequence of emails that go out for someone that is part of my picture frame class training, for example, and they would be inside a sequence of picture framing communications. Now, you're able to run surveys and different things like that on the inside too. Now, I might hop out and we'll go in live in a second, but in this slide here, I just wanted to show you that this is actually part of a funnel that is inside one of the sequences. So we're looking inside one of my phone boards businesses here, and basically this is where someone might request some information from me. So they've requested a quote. And what happens is you can see that after 15 minutes, there's that little orange envelope on the left. After 15 minutes, they're actually sent a message back to acknowledge that we've received their information. And then what I like to do is there 4 days later, you can see there's the next little orange envelope. 4 days later, they will be sent a follow-up survey. And that survey we run through SurveyMonkey. And it just asks the clients, what was their inquiry dealt with promptly, were you happy with the service, and we offer them a small incentive to come back. And certainly if they didn't buy off us, they're offered an incentive to buy off us at this point in time. So what I'll do is I'll jump out and we'll just have a look at it live so that you can see what really happens. I'm going to hop in and we're going to have a little look at the sales path setting that we've got. I'll just pop this on in full screen so you can have a bit of a look. Now, we're looking inside one of my systems here, and that was the slide we were looking at before. So you can see here at these little orange envelopes that are on the bottom here are actually tasks that are set within the system. So at the beginning, when someone first of all contacts us, they get sent a couple of messages, and if we click one of these, you can actually see what they get. And basically, I've made a little. This is a description of what it is here, which was the welcome email. Now, there's no delay on this. You can see on the bottom here, we can actually have a time or a delay. So the moment someone actually contacts us, there is obviously there's a small amount of time that the software requires to send them back the message, but it is sending them content that I've already created in my content library. So you can see I've got a number of different emails already pre-written within my system. So for example here, this one's the phone board's welcome, and then number 2 in the sequence would be my phone board's quote, number 3 the follow-up, and then number 4 the thank you for purchasing. And there you see number 5, please tell us how we performed, which is after they've bought. So we go through these sequences, and there I've got one phone board, sorry we're late, because occasionally we can't deal with all of our quotes that come through, so we send them a little apology, and we've got a few other ones in there that we use. So this first one is the phone board's welcome, and at the top there you can see that's an automatic email. Now the beauty of having a I'll just close this. The beauty of having a CRM type system is that, for example, that first email was a automatic email, but down the bottom here we've got this other little one here which says send phone boards. Now this is a custom text box that I've made, and this is actually a manual task. So this has been actually assigned to myself, so I'm going to receive notification, and I'm going to receive notification 15 minutes, so I've set that at 15 minutes. I'm going to receive notification 15 minutes after the client has inquired through my system, and this is the note to myself, which is send the quote to customer and note any special requirements in the database and change the customer's profile tags and ID as required. Now what that means is that right here I've been assigned, and I could assign this to different people within my organization, that in 15 minutes I'm going to get a reminder by email to say, David, you've got to send a client a specific quote or a specific piece of contact information. And then what happens is after I've received that notification, I would jump into my CRM and I would actually go through and send the message. So often in here, what happens is we have a series of tasks. So in this case here, we've got quite a few tasks all sitting here ready to go. So these are our scheduled tasks. There are 57 that are due, and I would be able to go in and see the particular client that I needed to actually send a quote to, and then I could pick this person up and say, okay, let's have a look at what that that actual client needs and how am I going to say. So this was due 18 hours ago. I would need to actually send them the message, and then I can just click the button here that it's completed, and they would move along in the sequence. And this is the other thing. When someone's actually in a sequence inside your funnels, what happens is they move through that funnel, and as they're moving through the funnel, for example, let's have a little look. I'll show you inside one of my do-it-yourself self-help things that I have going. And if I just have a little look in the sales path, I'll show you the automation there. And for example, this has a number of emails scheduled to go over about a 4-month period, and they range from 1 day there, 6 days, 14 days, so about one a week. And each one of these is actually not selling the client anything, they're providing information. So this is not for people who have purchased off me yet. This is actually for people who are going to do business with me in the future, or at least I hope they will. So gradually I send them different tips, and then you can see along the top here I've got here sent class offers. So I would offer some training here, and so after about 2 or 3 weeks of sending them some tips, I would make an offer to join my physical training. And so what that does, that enables me, allows me, I'll just come back out of there, that enables me to communicate with my prospects on a one-on-one basis. So I provide them personalized communication, but that personalized communication is partially automated. And this is a big thing, because as business grows, you need to be able to maintain that communication with your clients. Now, in leading up through them first coming into your system, you could just, possibly if the way your system might work at the moment is someone might call your business or email your business, and you may just actually pick the phone up, or someone else in your organization picks the phone up, discusses whatever the client requires on the phone, and maybe makes a manual note in a diary or something if they were going to follow up. But often what happens is people get busy and they don't follow up. Now, if you're using a CRM or customer relationship management system, what happens is it will remind you that that client needs following up. Or, for example, you can assign a value to a particular client. So you could have a person going through your system. They may first of all just contact you about a quote for something, or they may have an inquiry relating to whether you sell a particular product. Now, if someone's asking for something in particular, you might have a sequence that follows people who are asking for that particular item. So in the example earlier, I talked about fishing shops and how the fishing shop may actually give someone a hot tip about where they could go fishing. Well, you could have a sequence of events so that someone who maybe have inquired about a particular type of fishing equipment, they may go in a sequence where they get information about how to use the fishing equipment, and also information about hot tips and things like that, and gradually building that relationship before the client has even come into the store. And that is what the real purpose of having these communication systems in place is, that you can try to establish some sort of relationship. And people, generally people want to receive personalized information, and they don't necessarily want to be sold to. So this is something that we tend to do. We might try to have one particular sales email go out every 10 or so communications, but the real purpose is to build value and add value to your clients' lives. So you need to think about the frequency of the communication that you might be using. You may actually just want to use manual responding. And a couple of my clients actually use that to great success. And what happens is their actual business model functions around the idea of people inquiring through their system, through various different lead generators. And when that person comes into their system, they then manually call the client and say, yes, what are you, this is what you're interested in, this is what you're requesting, here's the information I can give you to help you. And also, by the way, we're holding a seminar that is on the topic that you're interested in, and can I get you to come into my business, and I'd like you to attend the seminar. And at that point in time, they may actually make an offer to the client to not necessarily purchase, but to take the next step. And this is where people are really going in terms of the industry, like in industry in general, is that they are pre-shopping. So when someone's going into Google or any of the other search engines, but Google's really dominant here in Australia, and what would happen is people might search for the thing that they want, they'll have a little look, they'll ask their friends on Facebook or other social media, they may check out YouTube and see if there's any videos about your business, and they might compare your business to a number of different businesses before they actually consider coming to you. And usually that first point of contact, it needs to be a very soft and welcome open arm approach, where you actually help them, and help them prior to them becoming a client, because then they're able to value you, and certainly you can build that relationship and establish a good rapport with them before they actually purchase. Now, we're doing that across a number of different businesses, and generally it works really well. The only time where we may have issues with trying to establish this relationship type system is where you are just dealing with a price shopper or a price quote. But something that we've noticed is even people that are interested in product, at certain times they are definitely interested in relationship, and it may just be depending on what particular item or what the end use for the item is at the time of purchase. So we'll find that we may have a client that is a product feature and price shopper to start with. We tend to look after them and then establish more of a relationship with them, and gradually nurture that relationship into the point where we then have clients that are far more willing to take our advice, and actually you don't need to sell to them, but you are able to have a far easier road towards making money in your business. So if you want to have a chat, if you ever want to go in and try some of these CRMs yourself, if you need help with actually how to do it, that's what Jump the Divide was set up to do, is to help businesses jump the technological divide to take their business to the next level. We generally like to come in and help audit your sales process. We like to look at how we can engineer that sales process so that we provide a steady stream of leads and prospects to your business, and then we can also help with conversion and things like the internal operation and how you integrate some of these things, because it's one thing to be able to find, and this is a little word of warning, you normally can't find one particular solution that will encompass all of your problems with online selling and with things like that. So, you're best off trying to find some of those things that function well for each area that you might require if you're entering into the online space. And certainly if you've got something going on online, you want to try and drive the online traffic. If you're an offline business, you want to get that online traffic coming to your physical location. So there are methods that we do and that we use, utilizing some of those contact methods to drive clients who are just prospects, or first of all suspects, then to become prospects, to eventually come into your business and become clients. So if you'd like to grow your business online, if you want to do anything in the way of shopping carts, or how you can actually just make sales online, if you need to have a look at that, we're quite knowledgeable at setting up those sort of systems. And also we'd really like to help you when it comes to just taking your business to the next level. So I'd love to meet you. We can have a chat anytime. Give me a call or look me up at Jump the Divide, and in my next video we'll have a look at some extra tips that can help you grow your business. So this has been David Shumme from Jump the Divide. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.